2 weeks ago, we saw Timmy Lewis get the victory after the caution came out at a last attempt of a green-white checkered. Brent Butler may have had a chance to steal the win as he had a run on Timmy Lewis out of turn one, but the field was frozen and Timmy Lewis wins and clinches himself into the playoffs. Welcome to the Tarmac Esports Countdown to Green Show, presented by John Betlam Heating and Cooling and Game Day Rally Gear. Alongside me, as always, we have two-time winner in the series, Patrick Day, and the owner of Miller Time Motorsports, Chris Miller. Guys, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving break as we are back tonight in action at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Nice long weekend. Time to recharge. Back here, had a rough last week for myself. But actually, proud of the 11th place finish I came out with there. A lot of pit stops for me to repair damage, but I'll take an 11th place after that type of. Welcome back, everybody. Good one. Will be a good race tonight, I think. Kansas Speedway. So let's go out there, have some fun, and keep the cautions down tonight, shall we?
Yeah, guys, happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Ryan, I got to say it to you. Go Blue. Go Blue. At least they beat them Buckeyes. So that made my weekend. So, hey, but looking at the racing, I mean, congrats to Timmy Lewis. He clinched his way into the playoffs. I think that's 6 drivers now we've got clinched. As long as they meet the requirement, we got a couple guys right on that edge. But man, Brent come up close again, and so did Hunter. Them are 2 guys that have been running up front there most of the season. Sitting pretty good in the points anyway. But yeah, Kansas, we're at a forgiving track. Should be a good race, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about what we've seen from the last race and what we're going to see here at Kansas. But we did see had some devastating news over the Thanksgiving break, as Ryan Palmer and his family seen a horrible fire at their warehouse there where their family actually works, and he has a attached or detached apartment there. And unfortunate for him, no power, no water, no gas, nothing. So unfortunately, he won't be with us until that situation is taken care of. But there is a GoFundMe out there. We'll post the comment in the comment sections below. But they're looking to raise some money to help them out in this difficult time that they're going through. So if you can donate to Ryan Palmer and his family, they would greatly appreciate it. Again, I'll put the link down below. All right, so guys, talking about our last race, I do have to say that the last race and the Countdown to Green show that we feature PJ Popham on is the biggest, most watched race that we have seen to date on the Tarmac Esports channel. That dates all the way back from season 1 all the way to now. We hit over 1,000 views during that race. So that was really awesome. There was moments in that race that was really exciting. Wish it was just cleaned up just a little bit, and I think that could have been a really, really fun race. And definitely there at the end, if we could have completed that green-white checkered, I think that would have been a very, very close finish there as well. But kudos to those that was out there and that are watching these shows. We greatly appreciate it. Over 1,000 views last week here for the North Wilkesboro race. And so Timmy Lewis gets that victory and secures himself in the playoffs. The monkey's off his back. He has a little less to stress about now as we've got these last 3 races before we kick off the playoff season. He has to be excited. You talked about Brent Butler. He came up close, and he could have potentially stole that win. As Timmy Lewis on the exit of 4 there before the caution flag flew, he got loose and Brent Butler was underneath him, and that could have been the difference, and that would have been a drag race to the line, but he comes up second. And Hunter Lagoons, once again, been very, very dominant in this series, and he takes over the points lead. He finishes in 3rd place, and I'll pull up the points there. You can see it. Hunter Lagoons has not got a win yet. but he is in that number one spot. And guys, that just reminds me of Nick Galusha from season 1. It just feels like a deja vu in that situation where he did not see a win, but he had consistent finishes, ended up being our champion. Could this be something that we are seeing a repeat with Hunter Lagoons here?
Possibly. He's definitely got the points that he needs to get into the playoffs. If he doesn't win, to get in on points. But with the playoff series now, I mean, the ultimate champion is going to have to win a race, right? They're going to have, say you're going to have to win a race. They're going to have to place higher than everybody else in that level.
Right.
But it helps that, to win a race and get in, because really for that last 4, I think we're only going to have I guess it will be 2 people going by points, because we have 3 races in the.
It's 3 races, and then eliminate 4, and then it's 2 and eliminate 4. Yeah.
Yep. So
it's 3, 2, and 1.
3, 2, and 1. Yeah. So we'll be taking 2 points, guys. But you really don't want to rely on that to get into that final there. But no, he's been having a very similar he had last year. Very consistent finishes, staying in the top 5, top 10 when he needs at this point. Good on him.
So this has been, before I move on to you, Chris, with Hunter Lagoons, I wish I would have known about this guy, because I would have picked him as my champion, because if I could go ahead and just kind of slip out Ben Morton, put him in, I'd do it. Because, he's been really fun to watch, too.
Yeah, I mean, my pick's right there. So I've got Patrick picked as the champion. I mean, I'm right there. I'm not going to take that pick back, but you're right. There's quite a few guys that we've seen that any one of us could have took if we would have known their driving ability.
Sure. All right, so PJ Popham, another guy I want to talk about, because he came home 4th and was fairly good in that race. And now that makes about 3 weeks in a row that he's been pretty strong. Watkins Glen was good. North Wilkesboro was good. Here was good. He's picking up some steam late towards the end of this. He is currently 8th in the points. Do we continue to see PJ Popham continue to grow in this series, as he is a new driver in this series?
I mean, he's definitely shown me that he's got the ability to do it. A matter of hopefully his driving style doesn't create any rivalries out there that cause some negative effects on the track for him, right? So, I mean, if he can keep his nose clean and stay out of the bad luck on the track, he's got a really, really good chance.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that spent a lot of time on dirt, and when he first came into this series, that was the bulk of the asphalt that he's ran is in this league. So I know he started out rough first few races. Doesn't help not having teammates out there. I think he's learned that along the way, and that was part of the reason why we had him on the show last week. But he sits in 8th. I think he's 3 up from as far as the points drivers here. So as long as we don't right now he's hoping for repeat winners or a win himself.
All right, so looking at Frank Klein, he came home in the top 5 there. So good outing for him. He sits 13th right now. He's looking to try to bid his way in by a way of points or potentially getting a win. He was up front running a couple laps up front, so Frank Klein finishes 5th. 6th, Byron Gay, still, again, doing what he needs to do. He runs 7th in the points with 171, just ahead of PJ Popham there. Johnny Evans, he finished inside the top 10. Of course, he is in 3rd. He has got himself a win. 8th there, Nick Galusha. He came in 8th last week, or 2 weeks, I should say, 2 weeks ago. And he's still looking to try to find his way into the playoffs. And is it going to take points? Is it going to need a win? Man, he's right there within striking distance. Paul Fly, he finished in the 10th position, just inside the top 10. And Patrick, you finished there 11th, one spot out of there. And then it went to Steve Miller. Steve Miller now inside the top 20, tied 18th with Michael Timmerman. So, guys, looking at the points there, you see your winners. They're highlighted in gold. You got Vince Isabella that is in as of now, but he cannot miss another race. Is that correct, Chris?
Yes, that is correct. So Vincent has missed 3 races at this point, so he's got to be there the last 3 or still get in on points. Which if he misses another one, it'll be almost impossible probably. But I mean, right now, regardless if he had that win or not, he's not that far back that he couldn't still get in on points. But like I said, he's in with the win anyway as of right now. If he misses another one, he would not be guaranteed that playoff spot.
Okay. Simple enough there. All right. So we head to Kansas Speedway. A little different track than what we just seen. What do you think that we're going to start to see here at Kansas as we've got 3 races to go, and we've got some guys out there that we probably thought that they may have seen victory lane already, such as Nick Galusha, Ben Ward, Trevor Catalano. There's a couple of guys there, even Tanner Marr, that hasn't got a win yet. Is this their track? What do we see here at Kansas?
I think you're going to see a similar race as what we saw at Las Vegas. I think it's going to race similar to Vegas. Vegas is a little bit more wide open, but you can go wide open a little bit here. So I think it's going to be similar. Now, we can't exactly look at the results of Las Vegas because we had a quirky caution come out and a green flag pit cycle.
Right.
So that shuffled a lot of stuff up. But
Sure.
I think you're going to see some good racing. I think we can keep the cautions down. It's a pretty wide track. So it's stay within ourselves. It's going to be fun. Going to have some tire wear. And I think it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, honestly, I think the next 2 races are very driver friendly. I know hopefully we don't have even as many cautions as we had at Las Vegas, but we did have a long run there, like you mentioned. Kansas and Chicago should both be very forgiving. I expect clean races. The only thing is you've got drivers like you mentioned, Ryan. Nick Galusha, Tanner Meyer, Ben Worth. They're searching for that victory. Trevor Catalano. That's what's going to get them in the playoffs. Otherwise, a couple of them guys are pretty much out. But I don't know. It should be a good race. It should be a clean race. It should be good for you to broadcast.
Yeah. So, okay, so we go to Kansas versus what we just seen. Which one of these 2 races provide the better racing?
Wow. I mean, Chicago was pretty exciting at the end of last season, right? You had the second, third, and fourth in the points that finished first, second, and third in that race, and we were pretty much on top of each other, in the last 2 or 3 laps. So Chicago is going to be exciting, but Kansas can lend the same type of racing and very, very similar, close as well. So, I mean, if I had to choose, I would probably choose Chicagoland to provide a more exciting race. But I think tonight's
okay.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, Chicagoland, we have a lot of history there at Miller Time. I think we've pretty much had it on most of our seasons, whereas as far as Kansas, I think we've only had it on maybe our first or second one. Don't have a whole lot of history there. Haven't went there very many times. But it's going to be a fun track.
Okay, before we move forward to our 10-second thoughts, I do want to bring up the fact that we did see over 1,000 views last week, and I want to get your perspective on that. What do you think caused us to have that high of a view count during a race that seen quite a bit of cautions? Was it the fact that we had PJ Popham that was on the show that was a little bit on the edge with other drivers, or was it the racing?
Oh, it's hard to say. Everybody likes a good feud, right? And you talk to a lot of people, and people say that people go to NASCAR races to see the wrecks, not see, right?
Yeah.
So, but when we were racing, it was pretty tough out there and good racing. So, I hope they're out there for the racing, not for the wrecks. Yeah, just watching guys go around the track under caution, it's not.
Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine that that race was our most watched. I mean, it kind of a bummer, really, on watching it. I was unfortunately never got my car out of the hauler that night, so I was watching the broadcast like many of our viewers, and it wasn't nothing on you, Ryan, as a broadcaster. It was just we didn't put a very good show forth as far as racing. So it was a lot like Bristol. Unfortunately, I think we had 20 cautions in this one, so we spent like half the race again under caution. But it's great to see that many viewers. Hopefully, that many viewers come out for Kansas and Chicagoland, where I expect it to be pretty good. And I think we've got a lot of guys too getting excited and getting their friends and family out here playing.
The utmost care. We'll make sure your repair's done right and any new installation is perfect. It's how we've done business since 1941. Our customers, you, are our priority. And when you need us, we're ready to help. It's our promise. So that's why there's something important that you should know. Did you know there are 2 heating and cooling companies here in Rochester that share a similar name? Betlam. And that's confusing. So make sure when you search for us online, you look for John Betlam. It's easy to confuse, so whenever you need us, be sure to search for and call John Betlam. Because it's my grandfather, John Betlam, who taught us to work hard, do a great job, and take care of all of our customers. And of course, there's only one phone number you'll ever need to remember.
Call 271-8888, John Betlam Heating and Cooling.
Oh, love it. Love that commercial. I'm gonna have to just keep it just because of the song that it has to it. It's very catchy.
Yeah.
All right. 10-second thoughts with Patrick Day and Chris Miller here. All right. Here we go. Here's your first question. This one's going to go to you, Chris. Does Derek Rothling have a chance to get in the playoffs if based solely off of points?
Almost impossible. So no.
Woo! Man, just shot his hopes and dreams out the water. Derek Rothling. You're gone. What do you think, Patrick?
I'd have to agree. I mean, he'd have to like finish out top 3s probably, and
Yep.
everybody in front of him have really bad races, right? So there's too many factors to try to get in on points.
Man, Derek Rothling is crying right now, I would imagine. He had so much high hopes coming into this season that he thought that this was going to be his season, and it just has not panned out to his likings. All right.
He can still get that win.
Yeah, he can still get the win. Yeah, and he's just having bad luck. That's and it happens out there. You can run really well and just have bad luck. It ruins everything.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Patrick, this one is for you. Does Paul Nagus have a chance to get into the playoffs based solely off of points?
Paul definitely has the ability to get in off of points. Again, with 3 races left, he's going to have some consistent top 5s. People in front of him have some troubles.
Okay. What do you think, Chris?
He's only 10 points back right now from the person that would be in. Kyle Wellman would be in on points right now. He's sitting with 145. Paul Nagus 135. He can definitely get in on points yet. He's hoping for repeat winners. He's going to need probably 6 drivers anyway to get in on points. 5 maybe.
Okay. All right. Next question for you, Chris. what do you feel is causing Ben Wart to not have the success so far?
Oh wow, I don't know. I haven't watched Ben himself too much, but what I have watched, I think it's just a lot of bad luck. He's had to come through the field a few times, and he's got caught up in stuff.
Okay, Patrick, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's just bad luck on Ben's part. He's been in good positions, various times during this so far, and just had bad luck and get tangled up in.
So Patrick, you kind of dealt with this last season. What advice would you give Ben Wart here?
Both Ben Wart and Kyle Wellman. Don't do your charge until the last 50 laps in the race. The more that you fall back and drive forward, fall back, drive forward, you're putting yourself around, opportunities to be in other people's incidents or other people's messes, right? So, I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to run tonight yet. I don't know if I'm going to ride around the back and just wait till the last 50 laps, make a charge. I'll have to see how it's playing out to decide.
Okay. All right. This next question's for you, Patrick, and it is based off of Steve here. So it's a little bit a long question here. So it's kind of a two-part question here. So, are you surprised that Steve Miller is just 12 points away from the 12th position? He is currently 18th in points. Why is he having more success than drivers such as Grant Clark, Derek Roffling, Ryan Palmer, Tanner Marr, to just name a few?
Well, had a really freeze there. Not surprised totally because of the format we're running this season. He's doing as well as he is because he's just riding around the back, and through attrition of guys in front of him, he's finishing better than what he was last year. So that's just the nature of not having a faster pair, right, to lean on in this season.
Chris, what do you think?
Shock 12 points back. It's pretty impressive by my brother there, but him and I talked about it. I mean, before the season, with his strategy, he kind of expected this because he's not going to get involved in a whole lot of incidents unless they're self-created before the end of the race. And even at the end of the race, he's not going to push it too hard unless he's in that top 10.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Last question for you, Chris. At this point in the series, is there anything you have really enjoyed or even disliked?
I disliked North Wilkesboro. I didn't even get my truck out, so that kind of sucked. But no, I North Wilkesboro and Bristol both, and not that I don't want to go to short tracks, but the cautions just aren't good for the broadcast.
Absolutely. All right. What about you, Patrick? Is there anything that you've really enjoyed about this series so far, or something that you may have disliked?
So really enjoyed the fact that we have quite a few guys that are really good racers, and it's a very diverse field this. So I like that. I agree with Chris. I wish we could clean up our short track game, and hopefully we eventually will. I'd hate to get rid of short tracks in our future seasons, but maybe we need to look at some that are easier to drive and don't lend themselves to the chaos that you get at a Wilkesboro or a Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So now is a very important time to go to our picks. And Patrick, I believe you are still leading the points here. Let's pull up those points. You are. You've got 10. Chris, you got 8. And I've got 7 here. So it's a pretty important time coming into the playoffs. I don't know how we should play this. Like, hey, only the top 2 actually gets to pick the rest of the way out. And it'll start eliminating. I don't know. But, yeah. If it was that case, I need to pick up the momentum here and get some things rolling in my direction. So hasn't been working out for me so far. All right, so let's get the picks rolling. Chris, you've got us queued up for this first one here. Our third place tonight here at Kansas. Patrick, what's he thinking?
Honestly, don't know. I'm just going to take a stab. I feel kind of stale that it's been a couple weeks since I've been doing this, so
Yeah.
but I'm going to take a stab here and say Paul Fly.
Good pick. We don't have a whole lot of history to go off, like I mentioned. So actually, when I'm sitting here guessing your picks, I don't even know how I'm going to do it. So, I went with a guy that has continuously ran in the top 3 all season long. He's not going to need that victory to get into the playoffs, and I'm going with Hunter Lagoons. I think he's driving safe enough around guys that he's not going to be out of the top 3, and I quite frankly, I think he realizes that he's going to be in on points, and he doesn't really care about that victory yet.
Good pick.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah.
He's already got the win. He's kind of locked himself in. Believe Hunter Lagoons is a teammate of Kyle Wellman. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that is how that is. So you got to think that he's trying to give some pointers to his teammate over there to potentially get himself into the playoffs as well. Because Wellman has not been the Wellman that we have seen in the past and been dominant up front. And so see if that changes tonight here at Kansas. All right, Chris, who does Patrick Day have here in the number 3 spot?
I think he's going to go with a similar strategy to earn points here, but I think he's going to take Brent Butler.
That's a good pick. No, like I had said earlier in the broadcast, I think this is a race to Las Vegas. I think you can have similar drivers driving well here as there. So I went with your Vegas winner, actually. Third place. I went with Paul Fly here.
Paul Fly, 94. Going to try to get himself another podium position. Paul's Fly had a pretty decent season so far, and that's not surprising from him. He drives very, very well. So the 94 Paul Fly there in the 3rd position. My opinion is I hope that he isn't there for the sake of points. I would like to gain some points here, and so I'd like to see Paul Fly on back. All right, who do I have here in the number 3 spot?
I don't know why, but I'm going to say Johnny Evans.
Okay.
That's a good pick. But I wish I could pick 2, but between these 2 for 3rd, I think you're going to say Brent Butler.
Brent Butler. That's a good pick. Brent Butler is a very good pick. And, he finished 2nd last week. He's been showing some kind of momentum here late over the second half of this regular season. Very, very good pick. My actual pick is going to go to teammate of Hunter Lagoons. I'm going to go with Kyle Wellman here. He's going to turn some things around. He needs to. And I kind of predict a little different race from him. I predict that he'll be up front, and he'll run up front quite a bit tonight. And I've got him finishing in the 3rd position.
Good pick. Yeah, he this is his style track, right? So expect a good race out of him tonight. He won Charlotte last year, so yeah, as long as he can stay out of the messes. 12.
That's what we hope. All right. Number 2 spot, Chris, you've got us ready for it. Does he have it right? And does Patrick know what he's thinking?
No, I really don't. But he might be looking at the guys that have been running pretty strong here. So I think he might say a Brent Butler here.
Good pick. I thought you had him there in 3rd. So no, Patrick, I actually took yourself here. The guy that's going to take it from you, take the victory, needs it a little bit more. He's going to be a little bit more aggressive than you. You know where you're sitting at points, and you just want to go into the playoffs sitting here in 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So You've got the 2 victories, so right now you've got the lead going into the playoffs pretty much anyway. So you'll come home second.
Appreciate it.
That 24 has been on fire, and he's on fire whenever there is a long green flag run. That's where he comes alive. Will that be the case here at Kansas? Do we see a long green flag run and that 24 come trolling up through the cars? We'll see. We'll see if he can get her done there in the second position. All right, Patrick, you got us ready for that number 2 spot. Chris, what are you thinking that he has here?
He went with Paul Fly, so he went with a rat bastard. I think he's going to go with Austin Palmer. Austin Palmer needs a top 3 finish here to kind of help himself into points. He's right on the verge of being out of the top 12 in the points, but Austin Palmer.
That's a good pick. I didn't choose Austin, but you're right. Austin needs a really good finish here. He definitely has the ability. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Austin. No, I went with Johnny Evans here. My championship winner pick here. He does well with tire savings type of tracks. He did well at Las Vegas. So yeah, I see him doing well here. So we'll see if he comes home second.
Another good pick. 14, Johnny Evans. Always a good pick inside the top 3. So the 14, can he get it done there in that second position? Again, I say, I hope not. And I hope he is outside the top 3. And I'm looking for Patrick Day to get 0 points. So hopefully right now I am giving the broadcast curse to all of Patrick Day's picks, and they will not finish inside the top 3. So we'll see. All right, guys, what do I have here as my number 2 pick?
I think you'd be kind of silly not to choose Hunter Lagoons here.
Okay.
I mean, if you're thinking points, like you took Wellman, I don't know when you put your picks in, if you've seen ours first or not, but we don't know if this guy's going to be here, but I'm going to take Vincent Isabella.
Okay. One of you are right, but the question is, which one is right?
It's probably Patrick. He's always right.
He's always right. So, I mean, yes, Hunter Lagoons is my pick here in the number 2 spot. That 27 has been on fire, gotten a win. They're looking to hear their name right now by one of you guys, hoping that they have a shot here at Kansas to get the victory and clinch themselves into the playoffs. Again, we only got 3 races to go. If you don't have a win and you need a win, you better start here right now, because if you don't get it here and you don't get it next week, then oh boy, we go to Darlington and you never know what's going to happen there. So, Chris, you've got it queued up. Patrick, what is he thinking?
I'm thinking he may pick this guy because he's run well at these 1.5 mile tracks. And it's the guy you picked for third. I think he might think Kyle Wellman gets the win here, locks himself in the playoffs.
Good pick. I just can't trust Kyle Wellman yet. I mean, I know you guys are taking him. Ryan's got to take him because, you know what? He is top 3 worthy, definitely at this track. I just can't trust him yet. So, no, I did take Kyle Wellman. I think we've continually watched this guy come through the field in points. I think he was maybe as far back as 23rd or 24th. He's up to 12th. He's right on the verge of making it into the field, but he's going to go ahead and secure that this tonight with Nick Galusha take first place.
Right. Pick. We'll see.
So, let me ask you, because I think it was probably around this time, around race 7, maybe even race 8, that Nick Galusha got his first win. So ironic that you're picking him now, as this is the time that he came to life last year. Does he come to life here in that 20 machine, and does Nick Galusha get his win and clinch himself into the playoffs? And if he does, is there guys a little worried about that, as he has won a championship already? Can he do it again? A lot of pressure's on him tonight. All right, Patrick, you've got us queued up here for the next pick. And Chris, what is he thinking?
Well, so far his picks have went really good for me and you in points. As long as they don't finish in the top 3. If they do, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But so I want to keep that trend going, but I just think Hunter's too good for him not taking first here.
No, I didn't take Hunter, but that's a good pick. I picked the guy that dominated Las Vegas and had a bad finish. Derek Roffling. I think he gets his win tonight. I think he locked himself into the playoffs.
Oh,
pick. I like it.
man. So now it's really hard because I really like Derek. Derek's on Miller Time Motorsports. He's a teammate, but I still want to catch up on points. So it's like, Patrick, I hope you're wrong, but I'd still really like to see Derek Roffling potentially get himself a win. That would be really sweet.
I really root for Derek, but if history tells itself, he's not going to finish first.
He was on his way. He was on his way at Vegas. If it wasn't a fluke accident,
you are right on that one.
All right. So far, you're 100% right, Chris. We're kind of playing our cards right here, and maybe, just maybe, coming out of this weekend, Patrick Day will no longer be the points right now for us. I think one of us is going to take it over. All right. So who do I have here in my number 1 spot here at Kansas?
I mean, why not? Man, would you? Could it be possible to both pick Nick Lucia in first spot here? It's possible. Why not? Yeah, I'm gonna say Nick Lucia.
Okay.
I think Ryan's rooting for his champion. He's got Ben Wirt here.
Okay.
Yeah. Possibility.
I am rooting for my champion. You're 100% right on that. I am very much rooting for my champion. And Patrick, you have already guessed one right. So, your trend continues. You continue to guess the picks right. Unfortunately for my number 1 pick, you did not get that one right. Tonight, I'm going for points. And I have to go with this guy, Vincent Isabella. Gotta go with him, as he's a good pick for me here in the 82 machine. He's been very consistent throughout the season. Interested to see if he could get himself a win, and I could potentially take over the points from you guys. Come from last to first in 1 week. That's what I'm hoping. That's what we're hoping for.
It is possible.
All right, guys.
Yep.
It is that time. It's time to go green flag racing at Kansas for round number 7. Guys, we will see you guys out on the track.
See you on the track, guys.
Have a good night.
Rookie or veteran, no matter how long you've been coming to this event, there are butterflies. There have to be.
The biggest race of your career, one of the biggest races in the world. I guarantee you there's a lot of butterflies.
The white flag at the Daytona 500. It's time to get busy. Horrific crash on the final lap of the Daytona 500. Hell yeah!
Second time, the Daytona 500 goes to Jimmy Johnson.
God almighty, you just won the 500.
Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500.
Are you kidding me? Wow. Are you there?
Denny Hamlin wins his second Daytona 500 and wins the Coach Gibbs.
My truck isn't something you want to see in your rearview mirror.
My truck is a 3,400-pound precision-guided sledgehammer.
I guess you could say my truck likes to take the path less traveled.
My truck never gets claustrophobic in tight spaces. My truck doesn't haul tools, but hardware, that's a different story.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough racing.
What does it mean to be official? To earn the badge as a trusted source, a symbol of quality and pride. For 95 years, Craftsman Tools has been the backbone for those who build, for those who innovate, for those who pursue goals greater than themselves. To be the official tool of NASCAR is to represent the best of what's possible. For the teams, for the sport, for the future.
Oh! Put on the brake, wheels to the left. Go, 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 go! Go.
Oh no!
Be aggressive, everything.
Checkered flag is in the air, and he has done it!
And that future? Well, it's back to where we started. The NASCAR Truck Series. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series returns in 2023. We build pride. One turn, one lap, one race at a time.
Welcome back, race fans, to round number 8 of the Tarmac Esports Truck Series. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend, but it's time to get to racing here at Kansas Speedway under the lights tonight. A little partly cloudy, 69 degrees, and it's picture perfect time for some racing. We'll see these guys do some battle. I'm your host, Ryan Griffith, and I'll have the call all evening long. Man, oh man, has the points really shooken up a little bit here, as you still see some guys outside the top 20, even outside the top 12 that you would predict that would have been already inside the top 12 this late in the season, but that has not been the case for those like Ben Wart. Nick Galusha right there on the bubble. And what can he do? He was last year's champion, and he's two spots really out. If these two drivers here, Vincent Isabella and Ryan Palmer, make it, they do have to make the cut of how many races that they actually have to participate to actually make it in. Although they've got that win right now, they are in, but they have to secure their spot by racing enough races in the round of 10. Hunter Lagoons takes over your points lead and has not won yet, but he's been the most consistent driver week in and week out. And he is your leader right now. Patrick Day, a two-time winner in the series. He's right there in second at 203. You can see those other guys that have locked themselves in to the playoffs. The playoffs is just around the corner, as, man, it's literally anybody's race to get in here from, 7th on back. You're not really locked in. Even in the 6th position there with Brent Butler, you're not really locked in right now. You're still going to take some good racing from these guys. And we have qualifying going on right now out here. And I tell you, in final practice, Brent Butler was on fire, and he was fast as he came home second last week, or that was 2 weeks ago prior to the Thanksgiving break, and he was putting down some good times. But right now, qualifying's out there, and Derek Rothling is on top of the leaderboard through 17 drivers. That has taken time. We have about 25, 26 drivers tonight that has unload here at the Kansas Speedway. So we'll see these guys do battle here in just over 3 minutes or so. The pace car will roll off of pit road, and we'll get things started. Derek Roffling's one of those guys that has not had the greatest of luck this season, and so he's looking for a better outing. We'll be right back here at Kansas. Don't go anywhere. We're about to get this thing started. All right, welcome back to Kansas Speedway, and as always, this broadcast is brought to you by John Bedlam Heating and Cooling. Give them a call today at 271-8888. And also Game Day Rally Gear. Check them out online at GameDayRallyGear.com. All right, that qualifying's out there, and we have a new guy on top of the leaderboard, and that is Austin Palmer right now. He turns quick time with Patrick Day there in second and Derek Roffling in third. We've got about 30 seconds to go, and we've got one driver still out there. It looks like Byron Gay's still out on the track. He is the only driver. PJ Popham's also on the track, so PJ Popham and Byron Gay is the two drivers out on the track right now to see if they can beat Austin Palmer or Patrick Day for that front row. And probably not going to happen, as those guys put down some good laps. Austin Palmer did, and Patrick Day, Derek Roffling right there. So there is how we're going to start this one, with Austin Palmer is going to be on the pole, Patrick Day there in the second position, and then Derek Roffling in the third position. So we're going to get this thing kicked off here momentarily as we get the lineup started here. As Austin Palmer gets the pole, and with that, we will talk to Austin Palmer. He gets the pole. Austin, get yourself a pole here to start here at Kansas. Will you have the truck to beat tonight, and can you keep it up front for the majority of this race?
Well, we'll see. I know I'm just gonna try and save this tire, and kind of see how it plays out here. I think there's gonna be a lot of long green flag runs here, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Good luck to you in this one.
Appreciate it.
And Derek Roffling, you haven't had the greatest of season yet. What's it going to take to turn this season around?
We're gonna have to win here in these next 3 races. That's our only option. Win to get in here. Haven't had a great season, but gonna try and do something here. Qualified pretty good, so got a shot.
How do you feel about that 88 Goodrich truck tonight?
It feels pretty good. I feel like my race pace is really good. I practiced some tire saving, so I think we'll just have to see how it goes and try and finish up front.
All right. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on it.
Thanks, Ryan.
And that was Derek Roffling there in the 88 machine. PJ Popham's been running very, very well as of late, and we'll see if we can talk to PJ Popham. PJ, you got a copy there with us?
I got you.
Hey, PJ, you've been running very, very well for the last 3 weeks or so. Here you are. You're going to roll off on the 6th position. What's that 2 truck got tonight?
We'll have to wait and see what we got on the long runs. It's pretty comfortable, on the short runs. But we'll take it lap by lap as we go and try to be there at the end.
We'll keep an eye on it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
PJ Popham there, running very, very well over the last few weeks. Take a look at the 24 machine of Patrick Day. And Patrick, we cut in there. I knew you was talking to maybe your spotters out there, but 24 there on the front row. What's it going to take to keep that 24 right up there?
Hopefully a clean race. I think we got a really good chance there. I didn't see a lot of incidents in practice, so that's what made me decide to go ahead and qualify here instead of starting in the back. So the other decision was it's going to be a hard track to pass on, so you need to kind of stay up towards the front if you want to have a chance.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that 24. He's a 2-time winner. Can he go after 3 tonight? All right. We're getting set to roll off here momentarily, and there he is, your starting lineup with Austin Palmer, Patrick Day, Derek Roffling, Kyle Wellman, and Frank Klein in that 5th position. So definitely a Kyle Wellman. We got to dial with the Wellmans up, and Kyle, you get yourself up here in the 2nd row, outside row there. Is that 42 got anything for these guys tonight? Are you going to get that first win and lock yourself into the playoffs?
It's plenty fast enough, and that's the hope. Just got to keep all four corners and both sides clean and save a little bit of tire. I think tires are going to matter more than we think tonight, so that's going to be the strategy.
All right, Kyle Wellman going after his first win tonight. Good luck to you.
Yep, thank you.
So these guys going to do battle around Kansas. Some guys are saying that it's going to take tires. Some are saying that it's going to be really hard to pass around here. What is it going to take? Is fuel going to come into play? That could be one to keep an eye on as well. As a guy that's really good at that, Patrick Day there starting in second. He's a good guy when it comes to saving tires and knowing when to pit and when not to pit. As we've seen that in the last couple races where he actually got a win going down pit road with 5-6 laps to go, and he ends up coming out with the lead. So, DJ Popham there in 6th. We just talked to him. Brent Butler there in the 7th position. Tell you what, Brent Butler, last 2 weeks ago, Brent Butler put himself in position to maybe win the race. Came up just short. Brent, looking like you're inside the top 10 here, qualifying wise. What does that truck have for us tonight?
I think it'll be all right. Just a typical mile-and-a-half deal. Just stay out of trouble, and hopefully it turns out well.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it and see if you can get that first victory tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, the guys are rolling off of pit lane, and it is time to go racing here at Kansas for round 8. We have 10 rounds of racing here before we hit the playoffs, and so who is going to be those top 12 that will make the round of 12? Take a look at the Game Day Rally Gear Race Facts. We've got 134 laps for you tonight. That is 201 miles. Pit road speed limit at 45 miles an hour in that fuel window. It's going to be around 44 to 48 laps. The weather tonight, like I said, picture perfect. 69 degrees, mostly cloudy, under the lights. Can't ask for any better racing weather than this. 24, 23, front row, the 88 and the 42. There on that second row. We're about to go green flag racing here out of turns 4 with the iRacing pace car lights are out, and it's going to dip off on pit road as it will be on the flagman here.
Green flag, green flag.
We are green flag for round 8 of the Tarmac Esports Truck Series. Austin Palmer had the pole and jumps out to the early race lead as he has the inside lane trying to pull along the 88 of Derek Roffling. Way up on the top side there, you got Patrick Day running up against the wall, and he's got a big run, and 42 gets turned. Coming out of turn 4, the very first lap, Kyle Wellman. Have to check and see what happened there. We just got a glimpse of it. I don't want to speak early without watching the replay, so we will watch the replay before we speculate on what happened there. As we will go back and watch Kyle Wellman here. 42 gets loose. And things really stack up behind him. I tell you what, it all really kind of started with Derek Roffling got loose too on the inside. And he gathers it back up, but Wellman not able to do it with Frank Klein right there, and just Frank Klein not able to get off the throttle. They were very, very close racing there. We're going to take a look on board Paul Negus. So close to making it through. On board with Bobby Smith. can. Bobby Smith almost making it through it as well. Let's take a look with Nick Galusha, on board Nick Galusha here. So Nick Galusha involved in an early accident there. One more look on board Chris Miller here. Chris Miller able to miss the action. We're under our first caution flag of the day. Wasn't able to complete one lap there. Take a look at a inboard camera with Frank Klein here. I don't even think Frank Klein ever did touch the 42 there. It was close. It was definitely close. See if we can get a camera. He's got a camera on his right front suspension. No, that thing just gets loose, and the 42 of Kyle Wellman tries to save it, and not able to do it. As the flagman's going to give us the 1 to go this time by, as the light should go out on the iRacing pace car, and it does. That means we're going to go green flag once again out of turn 4 in the Geico restart zone, and that's going to be on Austin Palmer to fire in that restart zone. Folks, if you're tuning in on the YouTube channel and you have not yet hit that like button from this video, please do so. And also, if you have not followed us, please do that as well. That is one way to support the Tarmac Esports Truck Series, as these guys come out week in and week out to try to put a show on for you guys. And they are racing for some hard-earned cash at the end of the year for your champion. PJ Popham now up into the 4th position on the outside of row number 2. PJ Popham's been close to trying to get a victory. He's a dirt guy. He's come over to the asphalt and has done very, very well for the last 3-4 weeks now.
Green flag, green flag.
As Austin Palmer will once again jump out through the early race lead, but what will Patrick Day have? He had some big time momentum out of turn number 4. He was running the wall and had a huge run on the exit of 4. As you can see, PJ Popham going to do the same thing, follow right behind the 24. And they will go around Frank Klein here, and now to the outside, the 24 is going to have a race for the lead. '24 and a 23 side by side on the exit of 2. Drag race down the backstretch. 24 has the momentum. It's going to be carried by the 2 of PJ Popham. It does look like Patrick Day is going to clear the 23. So move Patrick Day up to the race lead. And he's going to pull along PJ Popham. That top line really working out very, very well early in on this one. Will that bottom line ever come in and be really strong is the question. But you see Austin decide, you know what? I better get up top because I'm losing momentum down on the bottom. As we say that, Frank Klein looks to the bottom of Austin Palmer. And on back in here, Hunter Lagoon's on the move with Timmy Lewis, the 27 and the 41. Outside of him, Derek Roffling. Hunter Lagoons will clear the 88. Frank Klein underneath the 23. He's going to take that position away on the bottom side of the raceway out of 4. And Austin's going to try to cross him back up here through the tri-oval. And the 23 is going to get that spot back from Frank Klein. Back and forth they go. Frank Klein now back to the inside. It's almost like how we rode it up in dirt, where it's kind of like a slider move there. Not able to get up to clear that pass, so that gives the momentum to the 23. Brent Butler now up into the 5th position. He cracks the top 5. Big movers. Timmy Lewis, he's up 4 spots in this race. You got Logan Coe back here in the 98. He's on the move. He's inside the top 10. He's up 5 spots. And Kyle Smith, the 45 machine, he's up 9 spots in this race. Colin Peterson on back in here. He is up 8 spots, and Chris Miller is up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag. Timmy Lewis looking to the inside of Hunter Lagoons. Hunter Lagoons is your points leader right now in this series. And still is not how they win, but is your points leader. Timmy Lewis now going to seek after the 76 of Brent Butler, as PJ Popham has made a pass for the lead up front here. Went to the inside of the 24 of Patrick Day, and he'll take that position away from Patrick Day. Very impressed with the two coming over from dirt side and with his success, and we have a caution flag out on the speedway. We're not sure yet. We have not got word from iRacing yet who was the cause of that. We've got iRacing officials giving us some data back saying that Paul Negus is off the track. So we'll take a look at what happened here. We'll have to go back a little bit further than that to see exactly what happened with Paul Negus. Paul Negus thought he was clear on Nick Galusha, and around he goes. It was a hard lick to the outside wall for the 52. All right, we're under our second caution flag of the evening. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
What does it mean to be official? To earn the badge as a trusted source, a symbol of quality and pride. For 95 years, Craftsman Tools has been the backbone for those who build, for those who innovate, for those who pursue goals greater than themselves. To be the official tool of NASCAR is to represent the best of what's possible. For the teams, for the sport, for the future.
Put on the brake, wheels to the left. Go, 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 go.
Oh no!
Be aggressive, everything.
Checkered flag is in the air, and he has done it!
And that future? Well, it's back to where we started. The NASCAR Truck Series. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series returns in 2023. We build pride. One turn, one lap, one race at a time.
Welcome back to Kansas Speedway under caution for the second time today. A lot of guys come down to get some fresh Goodyears on their machine. Frank Klein is currently your race leader with Timmy Lewis in second, Michael Timmerman third, Byron Gay fourth, and fifth, Bobby Smith. Those are drivers that did not pit. They elected not to go in. So you can see everybody else that has pitted on lap 15. They're good to go for a good while. So they got 15 fresher tires than Frank Klein, Timmy Lewis, and Michael Timmerman. See how that plays out for these drivers. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car. We're going to go green flag once again on Frank Klein here, the 33 machine. Out of turn 4 in the Geico restart zone. These guys up front have anything for those guys that have fresher tires. This is a good test early on to see if 15 lap fresher tires really matter all that much. So that's going to be PJ Popham back green here flag, in the 2. Keep an eye on him and see where he goes early in this one. We're green flag on lap 18. Byron Gay to the top side. Frank Klein goes down to the bottom. Something wrong with Frank Klein there. I don't know if he got loose or what, but he goes down to the bottom side of the apron. Caution flag flies out in the speedway once again. Might have been luck for the 33 having some issues there, as we have caution flag waving out in the speedway. Take a look. '94 getting loose. So we are now under caution for the third 3rd time today. and lucked out with that caution. The 33 having some trouble up front. Timmy Lewis and Hunter Lagoon's in now on this one. As Michael Timmerman is your race leader now. Still yet to pit, but he is currently race leader, so he's going to get a couple bonus points for leading the lap. So I'd imagine that's what his point was. Never know when those extra bonus points come in handy, whether that be the difference of making the cut or not. As we talked on the Countdown to Green session, Ryan Palmer, a winner of the series, won the Daytona 500. Unfortunate events had some fire issues at a place that he called home and his family called a business, and unfortunate circumstances happened. And Ryan, I got you alongside here. Ryan, can you talk us through what just happened there with that fire? Do we know how it started, and have you lost anything in the fire?
Yeah, my father was actually in the shop working on a skid steer, and something sparked, and he went to put it out, and we believe the fuel line came off, and everything just ignited. I was actually in my apartment garage at the time. My mom called me saying the shop was on fire, so I went outside thinking, not the worst, just maybe a small fire or my father wasn't home. So I walked outside, I seen that the flames were through the roof already. But yeah, the shop's a total loss. I mean, we lost welders, every tool my father has owned over the 40 years that, he's been working, and so, yeah, we lost everything.
Wow. Quite amazing how something like that, a spark, can, turn into something so big that can totally cause havoc in your people's lives, and it couldn't happen at a worse time around Thanksgiving time. People are celebrating, but we're glad that no one got hurt. That's the big thing. No one got hurt, and that you're all safe. But it does look like you're going to be down from iRacing for just a little bit of time, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping to be back by the 18th. We're still kind of working with, the gas company and, electrical, or, NICEAG, which is the electric company. The water lines and gas lines ran into the shop, then bounced off of the shop, and, obviously went to the back apartment and the other buildings we had on the shop, or the property. On top of that, there was an electric meter box that was on the shop that controlled the rest of the property, including the apartment. So now we have to get a new meter box, and all new wires ran, and all the utilities reran to get everything back up and running.
Wow.
It's crazy right now. Everything's got to be started over, and we're trying our best to get it back up running. Right now, me and my girlfriend had to take our little puppy that we had and her cat, and we actually live at her mother's right now until everything gets situated.
Wow. We are back under green flag here. Michael Timmerman leading the way. He is not pit yet, and that is proven to be an issue as PJ Poppin's going to take that lead away, as it's actually a three-way battle here for the race lead, with Brent Butler going to try to scoot in here as well. He's on the inside, and PJ Popham on the outside. And Michael Timmerman sandwiched in the middle. As they all clear, and PJ Popham is going to come out with the race lead. As we talked earlier in the Countdown to Green, we did share the GoFundMe link, and please go and donate if you are able to do so to Ryan Palmer and her family, as that is quite a bit of money of loss there. Can't even imagine how much money was in that shop, and so any little bit that you're able to help would greatly help that family out tremendously. PJ Popham on the top side of the raceway, kind of running his own race up top. He seems to like that up there, as Brett Butler follows in suit behind him. Ryan, your brother Austin doing his thing out there tonight, and had pole position and is running in third right now.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. You know, I've been telling him to keep his cool. I mean, obviously in the beginning of the season, he wanted to be a hero and try winning the race early on, but longer races, he's got to learn to save tire, and towards the end of the second half of the season, he's been doing really well.
Absolutely. Brent Butler looking to the bottom side of the raceway. He's going to take that race lead away from PJ Popham in the 76 to the point here. So he will lead a lap here and grab a couple extra bonus points, as that 76 probably had the truck to beat late in the race 2 weekends ago. The 76 really had a run on Timmy Lewis, and the caution flag came out on the last attempt of the green-white checkered, and field was frozen. He was in second at that time, and Timmy Lewis gets the win and locks himself into the playoffs. As PJ Popham now looking back to the inside of Brent Butler.
They are definitely racing hard up front right now.
Yes, they are, with 29 laps in. That's kind of the PJ Popham Monto, the 2 machine. He came from the dirt side. He's used to a 30-lap sprint. Get it done quick. And he likes that kind of style of racing, and you see that come out in him from time to time. Butler's going to try to take that lead back away. It's back and forth, back and forth. One gets the momentum with the downforce, the drag from these trucks. You see the 2 drifts right up onto the back bumper of the 76, gets that run, dips down to the bottom side of the raceway, and they will cross the stripes side by side, give that lap to PJ Popham. While all this is going on, Austin Palmer has a great seat right on board with Austin Palmer here.
Austin's definitely got a front row seat if anything happens right now.
He is waiting for something to happen and try to take that lead away from these guys as they run close to each other. You can see there's a couple sparks come off the wall there as Brent Butler gets a little high there. Doesn't stop any kind of momentum. It was literally just barely any kind of scrape, but at night you can see those sparks come off. If that was daytime, we wouldn't even known that he even hit the wall.
The more laps you get on your tires, the harder it is to run up top. It gets very, very tight.
Don't blink now, but Logan Coe is up 10 spots, battling for the 11th spot since the drop of the green flag. The 98 of Logan Coe is on the move. Timmy Lewis, the 41, he got his win last week, and he's kind of locked himself in, so a little less pressure on that guy. But the guy that has a lot of pressure on him is that guy that's on the outside of him. That's the 42 of Kyle Wellman, Kyle Wellman involved in an early accident, gets loose on turn 4. And now he is battling his way back through the field. He's currently in 7th, so he's passed quite a bit of cars since having that early incident as he goes underneath Logan Coe here. And he gets into the side of Logan Coe just as we were speaking about it. Will we hold on to it? It's down there on pit road. No caution flag waving yet. He will hold on to it and regather. So now Kyle Wellman will have to rebattle back through all of that traffic that he just did to get back up front as he got a little high on Logan Coe there. The 98 gets into the side of him. So everyone about on the same tires right now. We have a few guys that has about 5 laps fresher tires, but that is Timmy Lewis, Nick DeLucia, Hunter Lagoons, Bobby Smith, and Grant Clark. Those are some of the drivers that are 5 laps fresher tires, so they'll be able to stay out just a little bit longer. Again, that pit window today is between 44 and 48 laps. And we're on lap 37 of this race of 134. As we've got our eyes set there on the 24. You can see how high he runs here around Kansas. As we got a big battle here for the 3rd position. PJ Papa on the top. He loses momentum. He was running very well, and he's starting to drop. So we asked him early in on this race what that 2 had. He says, we didn't know exactly what we were going to get from that truck on a long green flag run. We knew what we was going to get early on a quick run. And you start to see that 2 start to fall, so they're going to have to make some adjustments to that 2 machine. It's Derek Rothling up into the 3rd position right behind a teammate of his, the 76 of Brent Butler. Oh, Ryan, I would imagine, yes, Austin has taken over the lead. And, we got a caution flag out on the speedway. I'll hold my thoughts for you there, Ryan, as we will kind of digest what just happened under this caution flag. Is yes, Austin Palmer has taken over the race lead. We'll see what iRacing is going to give us. I am still searching to see exactly what happened. iRacing has not given me any kind of information on the track. I do have a Colin Peterson in the pits. We'll see if that's what caused it. Let's take a look. It was not. I am unsure exactly what the caution flag came out for on this one. I cannot find anything here on lap 37, 38, 39 caution flag waves. Let's take a watch of Johnny Evans here. Not Johnny Evans. All right. So we will get back into action here as you got some green flag or some caution flag pit stops here. Brent Butler gonna get off pit road here. So there was quite a few that decided to stay out here. Austin Palmer, Patrick Day, Timmy Lewis, Hunter Lagoons, Daniel Quigley, Bobby Smith, Grant Clark. is those guys that stayed out. So the top 7 stays out, everybody else pits. So they will have about 20 laps fresher tires than everybody else. And Brent Butler will lead the way with that charge with Derek Roffling, Paul Negus, and PJ Popham. All right, we're going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
When it comes to heating and cooling, at John Betlam, we promise to take the utmost care. We'll make sure your repair's done right and any new installation is perfect. It's how we've done business since 1941. Our customers, you, are our priority. And when you need us, we're ready to help. It's our promise. So that's why there's something important that you should know. Did you know there are 2 heating and cooling companies here in Rochester that share a similar name? Betlam. And that's confusing. So make sure when you search for us online, you look for John Betlam. It's easy to confuse, so whenever you need us, be sure to search for and call John Betlam. Because it's my grandfather, John Betlam, who taught us to work hard, do a great job, and take care of all of our customers. And of course, there's only one phone number you'll ever need to remember.
Call 271-8888, John Betlam Heating and Cooling.
All right, welcome back to Kansas under caution flag. And we got Austin Palmer that is leading the way. Timmy Lewis runs second, and Daniel Quigley runs third. Bobby Smith in the 4th position, Brent Butler in the 5th, Derek Roffling in the 6th and 7th, PJ Popham. As we had a couple guys that elected to go down, a couple guys decided to stay out, so your top 7 did not hit. As if we was away from a break, it did look like some of them decided to pit during break there. They didn't go down the first time, but they did go down the second time. So we've only got 4 cars that is actually out there that are on older tires. So that's your top 4. Everybody else has fresher tires, starting with Brent Butler and Derek Roffling there in that 3rd row. So
this is where it's going to get real interesting.
Yes, it will. It will get very interesting because you're going to have those guys that's going to have a little fresher tires back behind that's wanting around these slower drivers.
We have seen fresher tires matter a lot here, especially 20 laps different. So I feel like these guys up front are just going to get driven right by.
Absolutely, and you kind of, you're okay with Austin Palmer and Timmy Lewis. They're used to being up front, but that 2nd row, you've got Daniel Quigley and Bobby Smith. They're not used to running up front, and so now they're up front, and they've got some hungry guys right behind them.
Green, green, green. All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Well, that didn't take long, did it? Did not take long at all for the caution flag to wave out in the speedway. Seen everything kind of stack up. Michael Timmerman, Byron Gay involved in that. Oh, we'll take a quick look. I believe someone was probably, oh man. Byron Gay gets up on 2 wheels there. Yeah, someone must have been in the wrong gear. Did not go. Let's take another look at this. Let's go on board with Byron Gay. Well, I just don't know why that truck got airborne there. Not really up to speed all that much, and yeah, iRacing finest. We're under caution once again. So, Ryan, I was get back to my thoughts here before we had that initial caution. Now we've 2 cautions in on that thought. So you're not able to race, but like How much does that frustrate you not being out here with these guys? I mean, this has to be a fun series.
Oh, it's a very fun series. Very frustrating as I was looking forward to Kansas. Kansas is actually one of my better tracks and one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. So, very frustrating not being able to compete. But obviously, it's out of my control. It's not something that, I can control, honestly. So, we'll just see, when I can get back on. I've also talked to my parents of maybe hooking a generator up just so I can, get one race in before Christmas break. Obviously, that's a work in progress, and we'll see what happens.
Well, that would be some dedication right there. Get the generator going and race. I will say this. I have done that before, actually. Myself, Chris Miller, Steve Miller, Larry Bell, Byron Gay, Josh Berkey. We all had a trip to Eldora Speedway about, I want to say it was 2 years ago. It might have been a little bit longer than that. We went to Eldora Speedway for the Kings Royal. And, when you go to those races, they have the iRacing simulator there, Tim Sims Racing. And we went there and had a really good time racing there at the track. But we ended up knowing a guy there that ran Tim Sims Racing. And, well, just say about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning while we're at our campsite, just chilling out, having a good time. They come by and they're like, hey, what do you guys want to do? We're like, hey, we want to do some sim racing. He's like, I got something better. I'll just bring it right down to you. So here we have the generator out there, and we're running iRacing out in the middle of a farm field, having a good old time.
Oh, that is awesome.
Can't beat it.
I look at it, I missed obviously the week before Thanksgiving, so, I can only miss 2 more. And, obviously this being the second week, I can only miss next week. So, if that's the case, I might, because obviously the 18th I would have to race no matter what, and then obviously Christmas break comes. So, hoping, that's not the case. Hopefully we can get everything back up running before then, but if not, probably just hook up a generator so I can at least still be eligible for the playoffs.
Definitely, and there's a couple races there. You probably circling inside that playoffs. What would be a race there in the playoffs that you really are looking forward to?
Oh, I'm 100% looking forward to Iowa. Very good at Iowa. As you've seen last year, I led the first half of the race, and then obviously I pushed too hard in the second half with overshooting my pit stall. But hopefully to rebound at Iowa and, hopefully move on to the round of 8.
That's what your hopes are, as man, this playoff system changes everything for these race drivers. As last year we didn't have that, so just based on points, you kind of just go out there and run for it. In these playoffs, man, things just kind of equal themselves out after each round, and it makes it tough to end up coming home the champion. So it's going to take a real good driver to win this championship, and one that's I've already put mine out there. I put that it was going to be Ben Hort. I wish I could retract that because he doesn't seem like he's having the race he should need or he needs to have. Here he's out early in this race. But if it wasn't for you, who would be a driver that you're picking to win the championship?
Very tough. A lot of the championship or the playoff drivers are my teammates. So, that's also where it gets tricky because when we do get into the playoffs, it's like, do we help each other? Do we not? But at the end of the day, I really think either Johnny Evans or, Paul Fly had the chance to go win, if it wasn't for me. But, again, it just gets very tough because we're all teammates, but at the same time, we all want to win a championship.
Absolutely. Big team that is out here. Several drivers within that organization. So Austin Palmer still gets your race lead out early off that green flag, but he's got Derek Rothling there on a lot fresher tires, and
All right, man, caution is out.
Once again we see a caution flag fly out in the speedway. Just unfortunate to see these caution flags on such a really an easy track. No sense in all of this. We'll take a look at it. Brent Butler involved. It's turned from behind. Let's take a look from his perspective with the TV cams. did not. Spotter evidently did not tell him that there was a car low, because Timmy Lewis had that spot for a good time, and Brent Butler just went down. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Take a look. We've got one more view for you. We've got the drone camera. There he is. He's got that space covered. And around he goes. Not sure what the rush is to get down underneath that other driver, but Brent Butler involved in an accident, and he goes back through. As Austin Palmer decides he's going to pit, and probably a wise decision at this point. You got Derek Roffling now going to take over your race lead, looking to lead a couple laps here.
Yeah, this track is very easy and forgiving, so, just people just gotta be more patient and, let the green flags come. Absolutely.
Not able to get around the racetrack, not even one complete lap over these last two yellows, and that's unfortunate, because there's guys out there that's watching this that really want to see these guys race, and you're not able to do that if you're not able to complete even a lap. And I know I've made this mention on the Countdown to Green show with Patrick Day and Chris Miller, is that if I flip over to a NASCAR race and every time the green flag flies, within 30 seconds the caution flag flies, you guarantee it, I'm going to turn the channel, because I'm not here to watch it. And so hopefully these guys start to clean this up, and we get some green flag racing for these fans to watch.
Oh yeah, especially at this track. I mean, green flag racing at this track can be very interesting and very fun to watch, and that's where strategy comes into play too.
Absolutely. As right now they call this the I-pacing instead of I-racing, the I-pacing. And so that's what we're at right now.
Absolutely have heard that before. I-pacing.
Gotta love it. Spend all that money to get on the iRacing, and you pace.
You pace laps.
Yeah. You'd think, you start to get good at pace laps, but I've seen even pace laps sometimes have issues. The biggest movers right now in this race, and of course you got to take in consideration that this driver has not pitted yet. He is last pitted on lap 20, and that's Bobby Smith. He is in the 5th position, holding down that spot right now, and actually probably seems to maybe make the right decision right now with all these caution flags. Just kind of just hanging out here. He's got some older tires, but if this thing goes green flag running for any extended time, he's going to be in trouble there with last pitting on lap 20.
Hopefully this time around we can get some green flag racing.
That's what we're banking on. That's what we're hoping for. It's Derek Roffling and Sean Smith there on the front row. I haven't seen Sean Smith up front, and now he runs there in the 77 up front. All right, officials have given all clear. We're going to go green flag here in the Geico restart zone with the 88 Goodwrench in command. See the 42's back in action here. He's in that 4th position.
Green, green, green.
Popham drops to the inside to get around the 77 as well. No friends for the 77. He's not used to running up front with these guys. Keep an eye on the 77. Will he be able to do anything? Got the 8. Bobby Smith trying to hold on here. With 20. Last pit of the lap 20. You see Kyle Smith taking it to Derek Roffling.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And I think they just said caution flag out on the speedway again. Paul Negus is involved in this one. Let's take a look at it. Well, with iRacing, you do have the you do have a little bit of netcode, and that does look like that's what happened there. But yeah, he was starting to come up on Grant Clark here, and those two are teammates. Grant Clark may have been coming down just a little bit as well, and teammates collect each other here as we're under caution once again. See if we can dial up Chris Miller. Chris Miller, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, seen you're running there in the 11th position, just one spot out of the top 10. Just keep yourself clean. It seems like that's the name of the game in this race. Is we've seen quite a bit of cautions here.
Yeah, you know, you're loose right at the start, but we're not getting much past the start, so it's unfortunate. It's really not too bad a track. It actually tightens up once you get a few laps in. Actually, I think when we had went about a 10-lap run there, it got really tight. So people just got to get through it. A couple laps here, give everybody space. This has been pretty bad already.
Yeah, hopefully we can see a green flag run on this one and see what happens with these guys. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bobby Smith still yet to pit. Now he's deciding he's going to pit here on lap 56. So he's going to have a little bit fresher tires than everybody else now. Towards the back. So he's on just a little bit different cycle here. .42 up front, and this has been the name of the game for this season for the 42. He's been up here, he's not been up here. He's been up here and he hasn't been up here. He's been up here and he hasn't been up here. He's back and forth, back and forth. Can that 42 stay up front and be a dominant truck in the 42? Now that he's made it to the point, and he's got a little friend behind him, Derek Roffling, not teammates, but real good buddies. I imagine they'll try to keep things clear. And then you got PJ Popham back there in the 3rd position. PJ Popham, Kyle Wellman had some words about 3 weeks ago. And so far, things have seemed kosher for now. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car. It's time to go green flag out of turn 4 this time by. On the command of the 42 in the Geico
Green
restart
flag,
zone.
green flag.
It's a really good jump. Pulls PJ Popham alongside. See if we can get one full lap in without a caution flag here. Maybe I shouldn't say that and jinx it, but right now we're halfway through this one and it's all clean right now. Good racing on back in here, about 3 wide back in here. The 23 of Austin Palmer, Grant Clark, and Brent Butler. Race for the lead. PJ Popham going after it with the 42. Look out! Look out! Kyle thought he was going to drop clear below the white line. Was not going to do it. As they about make contact, and they do make contact. Oh boy. Oh boy. Lost all momentum for the 2. And that's unfortunate. That was going to get exciting with the 42. Those two don't like each other. Matter of fact, they hate each other. 42 and the 2. They touch once again. The 2 will have some words about that one. Now the 88. Hot on the heels of the 42. Austin Palmer now in here, man. He's shot out of a cannon. He's into the 3rd spot.
Austin went from about 12th to 3rd in about 3 laps.
Yes, sir. He's got about 10 laps fresher tires than your leaders right now. Timmy Lewis down to the very bottom side of the raceway. He's going to try to get underneath Frank Klein here, and that's a race for the 4th position. Still not able to clear Frank Klein here going into turn 1. Take a look here at Sean Smith. He's running 6th right now. That's 77. He's having a good race for himself. See, Timmy Lewis finally gets by Frank Klein. Frank Klein giving him a little push down the backstretch to try to get around Austin Palmer. Austin Palmer on the outside, Timmy Lewis on the bottom. They both have the equal amount of tire usage on that. Both pitted on lap 50. I feel like Derek Roffling's kind of just hanging back off Kyle Wellman, not eager to pass him right now. As here comes Timmy Lewis to the bottom side to try to get underneath Derek Roffling here and take away 2nd. So this is proving that 10 lap pressure tires is very, very important. But it's took a little bit of time for these guys. I mean, they were back a little bit. Austin was able to get up there pretty quickly, and then kind of just sit and stalled at the 3rd position. Whether that was designed that way, or if he really did stall, we'll find out late in this race if that ever does come to happen. Timmy Lewis now underneath the 42. Looking for the race lead. Not going to do it this time by. Now you can see the 88 getting a little bit closer to the 42, maybe pushing him just a little bit, giving him that extra draft down the backstretch. You can see that. Timmy Lewis not able to do anything on the bottom side here. He just kind of stalls out beside the 88. And we talked about that early in. Some of the drivers said it's going to be a little bit difficult to pass around here. And it seems like that's the case right now for the 41. Next battle one back here, Brent Butler and Nick Galusha. Galusha got involved in an accident early in this race and is starting to fight his way back in this one. He last pitted on lap 55. Derek Rothling has dropped off the pace here. You can see him dropping way back here. He's dropped quite a few spots here in the last couple laps, and now Timmy Lewis to the race lead. This might be the green flag run that maybe some drivers are anticipating. As you can see, Patrick Day has kind of dropped off the pace. And that was probably by design. Yeah, hinting that maybe this is going to be a long green flag run. Still having an issue with clearing the 42, Timmy Lewis, and the 42 of Kyle Wellman. You know, Ryan, you are part of that team with Timmy Lewis, and you know what? I've spoke on it. Man, things have really gotten very friendly between the 42 camp with Kyle Wellman and your guys' team. How has that transpired after last season, him being a complete rival to you guys?
Honestly, I'm not too sure on that. I know after Daytona, Wellman congratulated me on winning Daytona. You know, ever since then, I never really had a problem with him. Obviously, last year I had a couple incidents with him. I got penalized last year for actually driving through him under caution. But, you know, this year, he really hasn't, I'm not saying he hasn't been aggressive, but he hasn't really been aggressive to our team and, you know, kind of being reckless like he was last year. I feel like there's more respect this year, you know, more give and take. So I think things have been well, and hopefully stays that way.
It's a good take. Interesting. But he has been that way. A different kind of Kyle Wellman. It's like Kyle Busch being nice. Like, it's not normal. And so Kyle Wellman being nice out here on the track, and it just don't seem right. And I want the old Kyle Wellman back. It was funner.
It definitely made it interesting. But at the same time, I mean, there's one of him and, you know, 10 of us. So I guess you got to play your cards right.
You're probably right about that one, as your brother Austin Palmer is right on the heels of the 42.
And it's definitely a different Kyle Wellman. Like, you know, watching the replay of the last lap of Daytona when Paul and him got connected, you know, going down the backstretch or whatever. And, you know, even afterwards, Kyle was like, you know, it's hard racing. I'm not mad. And I sat back and like, did he just say that? Because that's usually not what he says.
Yeah, that's a great point there. That's not what he says. He's normally lashing out. And so here you see Austin slides right up in front of the 42, and 42 gives a little bit of room there. A little bit of room. Wellman would have put the bumper right to the back bumper of that 23 last year, but it's a different driver this year. As you can see, Austin's going to run him pretty hard up the track here. Side by side there on the exit of 4.
This is a three-way battle for the lead right now.
Yep, with Timmy Lewis starting to come into the picture here. What will he do as these guys run side by side? A little bit of a gap going back to Sean Smith and Derek Roffling and Brant Butler. And you see that? The slide up onto the 42. The 42 just taps the wall just a little bit. Austin Palmer going after it. And maybe just your brother might bring out the old Kyle Wellman in him.
Hey, you never know. My brother is a very aggressive driver, so I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, if we only had the 42, the 23, and the 2 with PJ Popham there, whew, things would get wild. It's a good battle here for the race lead. He's going to try to put that nose right in there. Wow, that was close. That's the 42. Give and take right here. He knows that we're still really early in this race. 79 laps of 134. He's like, you know what? If you're going to put your butt up there, I'm just going to let you go because it's just too risky for both of us. And so now the 23 has the race lead. And now Timmy Lewis goes to work on the 42. So 42 starting to drop here. May have started to use up some of his stuff trying to battle with Austin Palmer here. As, of course, they have 10 lap older tires than these two up front with Austin Palmer and Timmy Lewis.
And their tires weren't that much older, but I mean, maybe the heat cycles kind of messed and equaled them out. Not too sure on that. Obviously, with those 10 lap pressure or whatever, there was those 2 cautions. So I guess we'll see how it is on this green flag run with Austin and Timmy.
I mean, I think it's a lot of just Kyle Wellman. I think he just used his stuff up there. I think he was battling really hard to stay up front. And I think that's really going to hurt him in this. He's starting to drop. And you see Sean Smith was able to get around him. And Sean Smith's not a driver that races up here up front inside the top 3 right now. That 77 truck is foreign to this area right now. And he's driving away from Kyle Wellman right now.
Yeah, Sean is doing very well right now, and as you see, he's another teammate of Rat Bastards Racing. Right now, it's 1, 2, 3 of Rat Bastards Racing, so hopefully they can keep this going.
Timmy Lewis starting to close in on Austin Palmer. And this will be a question mark at the end of this race. If this was the scenario, would Timmy Lewis go after the win, or would he allow Austin Palmer to get the win? How hard does Timmy Lewis fight for a race win? Because this would put Austin Palmer in if he would win.
Yeah, that is very true. But again, it's, obviously you want your teammates in, but that's when it comes to round of 12 it's almost like, do you help your teammates? Do you not? It gets very tricky when you got half the field of your teammates.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, green flag pit stops are going to start soon. I mean, Wellman's on his pit window, figure 44 to 48 laps, so he's within range to be pitting soon.
Absolutely.
Same with Sean Smith.
And Kyle Wellman currently in the 4th position, still holding down to that right now. Losing a little bit of gain to Sean Smith, but still comfortably in this little pocket window between Sean Smith and Brent Butler. Brent Butler starting to close that gap just ever so slightly, about 100 of a second faster than Kyle Wellman. Bobby Smith doing well here in the 8th position. A little fresher tires than some of those in front of him. He last pitted on lap 56, and things are working out for him, so he won't have to pit for a little bit. As you can see there, Trevor Catalano hits the outside wall on the exit of 4. Catalano not having a great season this year. Just a lot of ups. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of ups. I should say a lot of downs for him. There really hasn't been a lot of ups at all, if any, that we've spoke on that 56 machine. And so just not the year for him. Austin Palmer gets into the outside wall that opens up the door for Timmy Lewis to try to take that position away. And looks like he will do so. These trucks are starting to probably get a little bit tight. Yeah, you got Kyle Wellman here. We said that probably within his pit window. We said 44 to 48, but you got to think there was quite a few caution flags there, so a lot of laps were ran under yellow. So maybe we'll push this upwards in the mid 90s or close to 100 laps here for that 42 machine.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are going to try pushing it as far as possible. So, you know, if it is a green flag run all the way to the end, you know, they don't have to pit anymore.
Absolutely. Austin Palmer up against the wall once again. That truck
definitely getting tight.
Yeah, that truck's getting real tight. And you can feel it as Sean Smith starts to close the gap on Austin Palmer now. Last year's champion, Nick Galusha, running in the 9th position right now inside the top 10. Hunter Lagoon's your points leader in the series. He runs 10th. A lot older tires for him. 41 was his last pit. So everything's in question right now. When does the 42 stop? Butler is in on pit lane. And he did not get in good. He actually turned that car a little bit sideways there. Patrick Day's in on the pits. So those two drivers are in. Paul Fly is in on the pits. Derek Roffling down to get service this time by the 88. So we're on lap 92 of 134. Wellman's still not coming in this time by. Will anybody else come in? Logan Coe's going to drop off the speedway, and he's going to get it down to pit road speed and service that truck, the 98. This is when it gets fun. Green flag pit stops. How does things shake out here? It's like Wellman down to the bottom side of the raceway. Is he going to pit this time? Yes, he is. He's down off onto the apron. And the service is going to be done to the 42 and the 77 of Sean Smith.
This is where it gets tricky. I feel like the longer you stay out, the worse it is for you because tire fall off is, you know, crazy.
Yes, those fresh tires are very, very valuable. So how long do you stay out?
You know, going another lap or two is fine, but when you start running 5-10 laps more, you know, they're struggling, you know, seconds off of your time when they come out with fresher tires.
Mm-hmm. Hunter Lagoons is exiting the pit road now. You got Chris Miller down on pit lane now. Scored in the 9th spot. And Grant Clark will be the only one that pitted around lap 41, and Frank Klein around 40 and 41 that have not hit yet. So that's the 06 and the 33. And knowing anything about that team, Grant Clark is, I'd say Patrick Day's in his ears telling him exactly what that team wants to do and what number that they're looking for to come down pit road. Looks like he's going to give the 88 room, the 06 is, so I'd say he's going to pit this time by. You can see him getting off the throttle and down onto the apron, and he will service that truck this time by. So that is the cycle of pits for those guys, and there was a 10-lap difference in pit lap, so do they stay out for 10 laps? That is the question.
It'll be very interesting and see the cycle when it all does play out.
So that moves Steve Miller up inside the top 5. So Steve Miller running in the 5th position here. Nick Galusha running in the 4th. Bobby Smith in the 3rd. Daniel Quigley 2nd. And Timmy Lewis still at point. As you can see, Austin Palmer decided he was going to go ahead and pit. So Austin Palmer down on pit road on lap 96.
This is where we will see where he comes out.
Right now, this is where some of these guys do not want to see a caution, because if there's a caution flag at this point, there's a lot of drivers that's going to go a lap down here.
Yeah, that's what happened at Las Vegas. You know, there was only like 4 or 5 people on the lead lap. Everyone else pitted.
See just how much faster Derek Roffling gets around Daniel Quigley real quick. Timmy Lewis decides, you know what, I better pit. And so Timmy Lewis is in to pit. And be interesting to see where he comes out after all of this. And I think Derek Roffling is in a really good spot right now. Looking at things, I think Derek Roffling is going to end up taking the lead in this thing. Sean Smith will be right behind him, then Brent Butler, then Patrick Day, and PJ Popham, Kyle Wellman. So right now, Derek Roffling looking really good. And he will have enough to go the rest of the way. I mean, he timed it out just right. So he's probably thinking, I really don't want to see a caution flag here. And there's your gap for Derek Roffling and Sean Smith. So, you know, almost a full second there. Not quite a second, about 8/10. And then you got Patrick Day there, about a second and a half back. Almost 2 seconds back from Derek Roffling. Still a lot can happen here. Right now at the point, the 8 machine of Bobby Smith is your race leader right now, as he's going to come in to pit. And that's going to surrender the race lead over to none other than the 0-2 of Steve Miller. And Miller's going to pit. So he will not get that race lead and get the extra bonus points for leading. As now everything's going to cycle through with Derek Rothling with your race lead. And how about Sean Smith here? Sean Smith running a great race. That second position, the 77 machine. Sean Smith has caught Derek Rothling. The question is Sean Smith using his stuff up to get to Derek Rothling? And is Derek Rothling patient enough to say, you know what? Go ahead, take it. I'll come back at you here and save your stuff, the 88. 88's needing a win to get in to the playoffs. The 77, the same for him. And then Patrick Day, he is a two-time winner in the series. He got himself a win. Then Brent Butler in fourth. Kyle Wellman fifth. Has not won. BJ Popham has not won. Hunter Lagoons has not won. Nick Galusha has not won. Logan Coe has not won. And Daniel Quigley has not won. So there is only one driver inside the top 10 that has a win on the series. And he runs third. And is a threat to these guys if this thing goes green flag run, as Sean Smith has taken over the race lead as of now. I hope this thing stays green flag to the end. What do you say, Ryan? Do you think it stays green flag all the way to the end of this thing?
Yeah, I really hope it does stay green all the way to the end. It would make it really interesting. You know, I'm looking at the timer on the side. It looks like Austin might have had trouble on pit road. I mean, being 2 laps down.
Yes, it does look like that was the case. Him having some trouble. Kyle Smith had some trouble. Chris Miller. Those guys had some trouble there. As you can see, only 12 cars on the lead lap.
And Timmy, you know, pitting as late as he did, I feel like that has him a lap down. You know, pitting that 5, 6, 7 laps later, you know, is a big difference when, you know, the guys come out and they're on 7-lap fresher tires for 7 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no way to really make that up because, I mean, you're going green flag to the rest of the way, potentially to the end, and they don't have to pit anymore. So, it's virtually impossible to get that lap back.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to get that lap back right now, especially with 22 laps to go.
So Sean Smith has opened up his lead over Derek Rothling, and he has opened up a lead from Patrick Day now. Patrick Day is now 3.3 seconds back. So we keep that a note, 3.3 seconds, and find out when is go time for Patrick Day, because you imagine that he's probably saving some back there. But there has to be a go time. And is that now with 20 to go here coming up? Or do you wait just a little bit longer?
Yeah, we'll see when Patrick Day decides to go. I know he's very good at doing that, so like you said, we'll keep note and see when the time starts to diminish.
You're looking at Derek Rothling. If he has anything in the tank, he has to kind of keep himself within striking distance. He has now dropped 1.1 seconds off of Sean Smith now. You just don't want to see yourself get too far away from him. Definitely no one thought that Sean Smith would be the talk of the race here, but here with under 20 laps to go, that 77, Sean Smith has your race lead and is continuing to grow that lead over Derek Rothling, Patrick Day, and Kyle Wellman.
Yeah, Sean is doing very well. He's definitely shocked me with how he's running. I mean, I know he can drive and he can be pretty good. I would just never expected this.
Definitely not. As you continue to see the gap grows bigger on Patrick Day, so your thoughts are that Patrick's probably doesn't have anything for Sean Smith here. There is your last lap that was a pit stop, and Sean Smith does actually have the best of the tires right now by 2 laps over Derek Rothling, 3 laps over over Patrick Day. Same set of tires as Kyle Wellman on laps 93. Sean Smith has had 3 pit stops today. Pit time at a 15-second pit stop. Derek Rothling was at a 14.7 and Patrick Day was a 14.5. And then here's your pit lane time. Sean Smith at a 45.8. Derek Rothling at a 43.7. So Rothling actually got in pit really, really well.
Yeah, you can see that Austin definitely had some trouble with 1 minute and 19 seconds on pit lane.
Absolutely. So all eyes on the 77, looking to clinch himself into the playoffs in this one. And we'll put across here that scoreboard here, and you'll look for Sean Smith's name up there on this board of points, and you don't see Sean Smith, and so that just tells you how dire this win is for that 77, and it's big. He's got to have it to make the playoffs, and right now he's doing what he needs to do, and he's just 14 laps away from getting it done if he can do it.
Yeah, he's doing very well. 4.5 seconds away from Patrick Day now. Time's growing, so it's going to be very, very hard for Patrick Day to catch him. Almost impossible.
Absolutely, and you don't see any change from Derek Rothling as well, as times are slipping away here. You can see the time there, a 32.3 for Sean Smith, and then a 32.4 for Derek Rothling. So there is Patrick Day just now crossing the stripe, and there is Sean Smith into turn 1. So you can see that gap is pretty big there on the exit of 2, and then there is the 88. You can see the 02 getting by the 88. The 02 hit really late, so has a little fresher tires than the 88 right now. He's a lap down. Across the stripe. And across the stripe. And then Patrick Day across the stripe. So quite a big gap. And then Kyle Wellman, Brent Butler 5th, and PJ Popham runs in the 6th position. Hunter Lagoons runs the 7th position. Nick Galusha runs in the 8th position. Daniel Quigley 9th, and 10th Bobby Smith. Now, Bobby Smith's having a great race. We got to say something about that, as the 8 machine has done what he needed to do today, and he is inside the top 10, running very, very well. So Bobby Smith, kudos on him for a great night of racing. Brent Clark, he runs the 11th position, and the first car 1 lap down. That is the 02 of Steve Miller. And then it's Timmy Lewis, Frank Klein, Paul Negus is the top 15. From there it goes Austin Palmer, Kyle Smith, Chris Miller, then Trevor Catalano, and then Michael Timmerman. That rounds out the top 20. So can anybody catch the 77 of Sean Smith? Right now, Sean Smith is just holding his breath, hoping that there is no caution in this and it goes green flag the rest of the way. Because if it does, he's gonna win this thing. I mean, he's out to a 3-second lead, and it's growing. Like, it's no one's stopping him right now. He is just on rails right now. But the caution flag flies, we can reset everything. Things will change. Pretty dominating performance after he got up front. Like, there's nobody else that is knocking down times that he is doing right now. A 32.3 still within the top 5. Nobody else is hitting those kind of times. He is on fire right now in that 77.
Which is crazy for hitting those lap times and, still be leading by that much. I'm surprised his tires haven't fallen off as much as they should. Which is shocking, but he's running very well.
Absolutely. It just keeps on keeping on. Pretty amazing that he's running that hard, and we haven't seen that kind of speed out of him all day. And it's like he knew when it was go time, and he just hit it to the right time. Go time, and Sean Smith leading his thing and going to find himself in the playoffs here if he can hold on here for the next couple laps. Looks like this 77 is going to do it. He's going to hold on. Not trying to jinx anything, but as long as we don't see no caution, any kind of crazy things going on, this 77 is going to find himself in victory lane tonight for the first time in the Tarmac Esports Truck Series. Derek Roffling going to come up short again. 1 position short. There was one guy out here that was just better than him, and a lot better. That being Sean Smith, just absolutely has the truck to beat.
That would be another Rat Bastard Racing teammate in the round of 12.
Absolutely. Another one locked in.
How many of us now?
Too many. Maybe y'all will get rowdy in this round of 12 and get mad at each other, and then the team will split. Big old Brady bunch. Well, you're starting to see that gap start to dwindle now from Derek Ruffling and Sean Smith. But I tell you what, it's too little, too late now. Not gonna catch this one. He got that lead out there by 4 seconds, and that's pretty much where he's gonna hold on to it. We got two more trips around here at Kansas tonight. We finally got that green flag run that we desperately wanted to see. A nice green flag run.
That was a long green flag run too.
Absolutely. If this race was longer, we'd be looking at another green flag pit stop here. As the white flag is out, one more lap to go, presented by Game Day Rally Gear. And the 77 looking to etch his name into victory lane and into the playoffs. He's got 2 more turns to come. Coming down the backstretch, Sean Smith at a 4.3 second lead, just dominating performance out front after that pit stop. Made the right move at the right time. The 77 has clinched a spot in the playoffs. He is victorious tonight. Derek Ruffling will come home second. Patrick Day will come home third. Kyle Wellman, good day for him in the fourth. Brent Butler will be fifth. Hunter Lagoon, sixth. Seventh, PJ Popham. Daniel Quigley, eighth. Ninth, Nick DeLucia. And rounding out the top 10, Bobby Smith. And Bobby Smith was your biggest gainer tonight. He gained 13 spots and gets himself a top 10 tonight. All right, we'll step away for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get to talk to your top 3.
My truck isn't something you want to see in your rearview mirror.
My truck is a 3,400-pound precision-guided sledgehammer.
I guess you could say my truck likes to take the path less traveled.
My truck never gets claustrophobic in tight spaces.
My truck doesn't haul tools, but hardware, that's a different story.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Tough trucks, tough racing.
All right, welcome back to Kansas, where we just seen Sean Smith get the first win of the season for him. Can't be happier than that for that 77. Finally getting the victory lane and sealing himself into the round of 12. Couple heartbreaks out there for a couple drivers that was doing well. Your brother Ryan, Austin Palmer, ran a good race. Had some trouble in pit road, and man, did that ever cost him. He comes home in the 16th position.
Yeah, that's, honestly where a lot of mistakes happen is green flag pit stops. And, a lot of people don't practice those in, practice sessions. And, I've told them before, you have to practice those, especially in, clutch situations. You can't just practice laps around the track. You got to be able to practice, green flag pit stops at, race speed.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get things started with your